this day as Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. Andrew's name is removed from the roll of the peerage. It is the United Kingdom's official record of dukes and duchesses. The disgraced royal has been struck out, but his accuser's family say he still has questions to answer.
He has not complied with investigations. He has almost, in some ways, refused to come forward and actually give a proper investigation. We're asking for his day in court.
So this lunchtime, an inquest hears that the Manchester synagogue attacker was shot dead by police as he ran towards them wielding a knife. Skinny jabs for kids. ITV News reveals hundreds of children have been given weight loss jabs.
More than 1 in 5 children in England are living with obesity by the time they leave primary school. NHS clinics like this are now using weight loss injections to help tackle that epidemic.
And why Halloween is going to the dogs. The surge in sales of costumes for pets.
This is the ITV Lunchtime News with Geraint Vincent.
Good afternoon. The formal process of removing the man now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor from British public life has begun. Following the King's announcement that his brother will no longer be called a prince, his titles have been struck out from the official record of the peerage, so his role as the Duke of York no longer exists. Mr. Mountbatten Windsor continues to deny the allegations against him that he sexually abused a teenage girl who was trafficked by the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But her family insist he does still have a role, taking some accountability for what was done to her. Laura Jones reports.
At the gates of Royal Lodge, watchers are waiting for any further movement. Although this downfall was set in motion years ago, the final humiliation came all at once. Last night, Prince Andrew became Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Stripped of his remaining titles, forced to give up the sprawling mansion he's called home since 2004. Andrew had refused to move out, citing a cast-iron 75-year lease on Royal Lodge, part of the Crown estate. But he was given little choice by his brother and has surrendered the lease. He'll soon move to the Sandringham estate in Norfolk, privately owned by the King. He won't be in the main house, he'll go to a private property somewhere on the estate, away from the glare of the spotlight.
There will be, I think, more embarrassing disclosures coming out. The royal family, if they've distanced themselves sufficiently, will be okay. But they do still need to explain why they protected him for so long.
The announcement on Andrew came from Buckingham Palace itself. In no uncertain terms, it said Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. It is a spectacular fall from grace for a prince from birth who had enjoyed all the trappings of royal life.
The warrior prince was back.
Widely described as a hero during the Falklands War, thousands lined the streets for his subsequent wedding to Sarah Ferguson at Westminster Abbey. They divorced in 1996, although the pair remain close. None of the latest developments will affect their daughters. Princesses Beatrice of York and Eugenie of York remain their Royal Highnesses, unlike their father, who eventually moved into the world of business, although he was forced to quit his trade envoy role over his associations with the disgraced, now deceased financier Jeffrey Epstein. This photo with Virginia Giuffre, who accused Andrew of sexual abuse at Epstein's parties and properties, dogged him for years. In an infamous interview with BBC Newsnight, he was pressed on his contact with Epstein and his victims.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Giuffre took her own life this year, while the publication of her posthumous memoir intensified pressure on the royal family. Although her family said they were proud of this ordinary American girl who brought down a British prince, they're calling for a formal investigation in the US.
It just proves that if you just come forward and tell the truth and through advocacy and really let your voice be heard, that change can really happen.
How long have you known about Andrew and X?
These simmering tensions boiled over in recent weeks, causing chaos during the King's visit to Lichfield Cathedral. The royal family now forced to act to avoid further reputational damage, hoping that all of this will finally draw a line under a long-running series of scandals. Laura Jones, ITV News.
Well, our royal editor Chris Shipp is in the Talking Royal studio recording this week's episode of our royal podcast. He says this does appear to mark the final chapter in Andrew's public story.
This is the king saying, you know what, I've had enough. I need to sort this out once and for all. So any other possible development in this story, we can no longer can no longer damage our reputation. Okay. And actually, when you spoke to the palace, they basically said, we can't change the fact that this is the king's younger brother. And also, talking about Royal Lodge, they couldn't evict him because there was a legal lease, and the king can't break the law, of course, because he is the law. Therefore, they had to get Andrew to agree to move out of Royal Lodge, and therefore they obviously had to say to him, well, here, you can have some money from the king's private income to live in Sandringham.
Okay.
But Sarah gets none of that. So she lost her titles, or she's not using Duchess of York anymore, so she's just Sarah Ferguson.
And you can watch Talking Royals on ITV1 and STV this Sunday lunchtime at 12:30, or catch it first on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. To other news now, and a coroner has heard that